A vast desert stretches outward beneath a pale blue sky, its arid terrain dotted with sparse vegetation and rugged outcrops. The golden sands shimmer under the filtered sunlight, casting long shadows from the few jagged rocks that rise unevenly from the ground. In the distance, a mountain range looms, its jagged peaks tinged with violet and slate blue hues, standing as silent sentinels on the horizon. The air is dry and carries a faint haze, blurring the farthest edges of the landscape in a shimmering mirage. Amid this stark and commanding environment, the Bavar-373 long-range surface-to-air missile system stands deployed in full operational posture, a symbol of Iran's strategic ambition and self-reliant military capability. Centered in the illustration, the main launcher vehicle dominates the foreground, a powerful, mobile transporter erector launcher telephone mounted on a heavy-duty military chassis with 8 large wheels. Painted in a green-tan digital camouflage pattern, the telephone is designed to blend with both arid terrain and semi-urban combat zones, reflecting Iranian doctrine for flexible and mobile defense. Mounted vertically at the rear of the vehicle are 4 massive missile canisters, each housing a Sayed-4 missile, Iran's most advanced indigenous long-range interceptor. The launch tubes are tall and imposing, reinforced with visible structural bracing and bearing the distinct red, white, and green insignia of the Iranian military, along with serial markings and caution stenciling in Farsi. To the left of the telephone, a radar vehicle supports a rotating phased array radar dish elevated on a telescopic mast. The dish, rectangular and finely detailed, is actively sweeping the skies, indicated by the faint motion blur of its rotation. The radar's surface glistens with a dull metallic sheen, catching the sunlight as it moves in search of aerial threats. A cluster of sensor arrays and optical tracking modules are mounted nearby, some housed in domes, others on articulated arms. Their positioning suggests the presence of redundant systems for both long-range detection and short-range precision engagement. Adjacent to the radar unit are 2 command and control vehicles, boxy and compact but bristling with antennas and satellite uplink dishes. Painted in matching camouflage, these vehicles feature small, reinforced windows and outward-facing communication modules. Thick cables connect them to the telephone and radar units, forming a cohesive, integrated battlefield system. Open hatches on one command vehicle reveal a glimpse of the interior, a workspace lined with screens, keyboards, and tactical displays showing radar sweeps, engagement zones, and real-time data feeds from across the system's sensor net. The surrounding area is carefully prepared. Sand has been compacted into makeshift roads, and small concrete barriers provide limited cover. Generator units sit humming behind camouflage netting, while auxiliary personnel carriers and maintenance trucks are parked in a semicircle a short distance away. Ground crews in dark olive-green uniforms, wearing tactical vests and headsets, move between the vehicles, performing system checks and equipment maintenance. A pair of soldiers stands beside the telephone, gazing upward, weapons slung over their shoulders as they scan the horizon. Above them, the sky is partly cloudy. Streaks of thin cirrus and cumulus clouds drift lazily across the atmosphere, tinged with gold by the mid-morning sun. High-altitude contrails trace across the heavens, perhaps from surveillance drones or fighter aircraft operating beyond visual range. The tension in the air is palpable. The entire scene is poised in readiness, a defensive bulwark against a potential aerial incursion. Nothing is in motion, yet everything conveys motion potential. The anticipation of a missile launch, the sweep of radar acquiring targets, the quiet urgency of command decisions being made in real time. The design of the Bavar-373 system in this setting reveals its dual lineage, an indigenous Iranian innovation, yet heavily influenced by the proven capabilities of Russia's S-300 and S-400 systems. The TEL's shape echoes that of the Russian 5P-85S launcher, but with localized modifications, additional access panels, environmental sealing, and a unique hydraulic support brace for rapid stabilization on uneven terrain. The radar system, too, while similar to Russia's 92N6E gravestone radar, incorporates a distinct modular configuration that is both compact and more easily transportable. Antennas are shorter, perhaps indicating a different frequency band usage or alternative radar cross-section reduction technologies. What distinguishes this system most, however, are the Sayed-4 missiles themselves. Marked with sharp, angular fins and longer fuselages than their Sayed-2 or -3 predecessors, these interceptors are clearly designed for extended reach and high-altitude engagements. A visible guidance section near the nose, painted in matte black, houses advanced seekers, likely a mix of active radar and infrared homing for improved performance against stealth and maneuvering targets. The canisters are individually marked with identification codes, and some bear stylized emblems, eagles, swords, are scriptural phrases evoking national pride and religious symbolism. Despite the mechanical nature of the system, the image captures a human element that cannot be ignored. The soldiers, though small in the frame, convey the scale and seriousness of the operation. Their body language is professional but alert. One technician points to a screen mounted on the radar unit, while another adjusts a portable terminal linked to the command truck. There's a sense of drilled precision in their movements, the product of continuous training and high-stakes readiness. This is not a peacetime deployment, it is an active deterrence posture. In the background, across a low ridge, another TEL can barely be seen through the heat distortion, a silent partner in the broader battery, perhaps forming part of a layered air defense net stretching across several kilometers. The system's modularity allows for dispersed deployment, reducing vulnerability to enemy air strikes and increasing coverage over wide areas. The image suggests this is only one node in a wider defensive grid, a grid potentially networked with KHORDAD-15 batteries, mobile radars, and electronic warfare systems concealed deeper in the desert. The environment plays a powerful supporting role in the composition. The desert is vast and unforgiving, its barrenness contrasting with the high-tech systems positioned at its heart. Dust swirls faintly at the edge of the vehicles, stirred by the occasional gust of wind. There's no vegetation apart from a few thorny shrubs, and no signs of civilian infrastructure. This is a military zone, remote and secure. The mountains in the distance rise like natural fortresses, their silhouettes sharp and unmoving, reinforcing the visual theme of steadfastness and control. Lighting in the illustration is naturalistic, with the sun casting angled shadows that accentuate the geometric forms of the vehicles. The metallic surfaces of the missiles reflect subtle highlights, while the matte radar array absorbs light in a way that draws attention to its function. The sky transitions from warm tones near the horizon to a cooler blue overhead, creating a sense of depth and atmosphere that brings the entire scene to life. Smoke trails or atmospheric disturbances are notably absent. This is a system on standby, not in mid-engagement. Yet, one can imagine the instant transformation. The radar alerting to an incoming cruise missile, the command vehicle transmitting a fire order, the telephone launching a SAID-4 in a column of fire and dust. The scene, while frozen in time, hums with this implied dynamism. Overall, the illustration offers not just a technical portrayal of the Bavar-373 system, but an evocative visualization of strategic defense in action. It reflects Iran's ongoing efforts to develop independent military capabilities and secure its airspace against increasingly sophisticated threats. It blends technology, environment, and tension in a unified image, telling a story of preparation, deterrence, and resolve. This is a portrait of modern warfare in the making, set not on a battlefield of explosions but in a moment of calm before potential confrontation. It stands as a visual testament to Iran's defense doctrine, rooted in layered protection, domestic innovation, and the projection of strength in isolation. Every element in the frame, from the sand beneath the telephone to the antenna pointing skyward, contributes to the theme of vigilance, resilience, and technological self-determination.